I'm not really qualified to speak on like these humanoid cryptid things, but like we have Khoisan in southern Africa, right? The small bushman. Mm-hmm. You know, in Borneo, Sumatra, and places like this, there are still very isolated groups of tribal people, you know, and sure, they're talking about proportions of small people and all of that, but what's stopping a teenager? Doesn't matter. I don't care what tribe you're from. If you're a teenager, you're going out there and you're being rebellious, right?
Right.
From going out with a spear to go on a hunt and deciding to continue going, and then he crosses a road, you know, and now it's become a Bigfoot or an Pendek or whatever, because he gets startled. Maybe he's doing something illegal or wrong or whatever and runs. Somebody catches it on their helmet cam, and now it's perpetuating into this big thing.
Or they see it in low light. They see it at dawn.
Right.
Yeah, if you think about that island of Flores, though, that's where things get interesting. Like
Mia Flores, right?
Well, the Homo floriensis.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
I'm not sure.
I think it's Homo floriensis.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Floriensis. But that's the little hobbit person that they've confirmed lived alongside people as recently as, I forget how long ago.
It's like 8,000 or 10,000 years ago or something like that.
They think it was fairly recent.
Yeah.
Like within like after the Ice Age.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and there are, across the human species, there are so many diverse-looking cultures and tribes and peoples, right? We're all humans, but, you know, Aboriginal people, African people, Indonesian people, Asian people, we all look different, you know, and we all have these own distinct characteristics. And so to think about, you know, imagine being a Westerner or whatever, being an Indonesian like in that video, and then you see someone who looks so different than your own culture, and you're not expectant of it. It's very easy to let your imagination turn into this whole other species, this cryptic thing, versus like, maybe this is someone from a different tribe who's in a different area. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying it's.
And then there's also, they keep finding new extinct species of humans, right? Like Denisovans and all. I think there was another one that they found recently that they're trying to figure out what it is. But they're very human-like in terms of Homo sapien-like, but a slightly different branch of the chain.
Yeah, with different like jaw morphologies or cranium shapes or whatever. And yeah, I think we used to, up until 15, 20 years ago, only think that there was like 2 or 3 species of humanoid ever.
Right.
Right. And now there's like, I want to say 8.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
Well, that leads me to Bigfoot, because I think that all these stories of Bigfoot, I think like that Native Americans have a bunch of different names for some creature that lives, some large hairy creature. And we know about Gigantopithecus. I think that's what that is. I think people just have a distant memory of it.
Like a remnant memory that's evolved over time.
Yeah, which is probably the same thing as dragons. And I know we talked about that.
Yeah. Well, and also, by the way, it could be the same thing as thylacine, going back to that, right? Like, they could have been in PNG, where these tribes are still talking about them 4,000 years ago, and this lore of the striped dog that sounds weird, that has this funny jaw, has been passed down generation to generation, to the point where somebody's out on a hunt or a walk and they see a flash and they go, oh, that was that striped dog my grandfather told me about. Now it's real.
I saw a squirrel once in Alberta, and for a full second I thought it was a wolf.
Please tell me how that happened.
I was looking for wolves.
Yeah.
I was looking for it to be a wolf. I definitely saw a wolf once.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. It was either a wolf or a large coyote, but I'm pretty sure it was a wolf.
In Alberta?
Yeah, because it was at dusk, and it ran across the road, and I was with Cam Haynes, and we both noticed it. And it looked like a wolf.
Just too big and stocky.
But it was, distant, getting dark, hard to tell, but they're up there. There's a shit ton of them. I mean, they have tons of trail cameras of them.
Yeah.
And they see them there all the time. But I saw this thing run across this like down tree, and it was the tail of this squirrel, and for like a full second, I was like, oh my God, is that a wolf fur? That's a fucking squirrel. God, you're dumb. That was like that was how it played out in my mind.
But you had already made it to be a wolf in your head. And if you hadn't seen the rest of the squirrel, you had always seen a wolf.
Yeah, I saw a wolf, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what I think people do with black bears that stand up on hind legs, and they see Bigfoot.
Black Panthers. You see a house cat run across the road out in the
Sure.
woods, and it's black, and the perspective, you don't have any scale, and you go, I saw a Black Panther.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the wolf thing is interesting because it's like, they're reintroducing wolves in different parts of America, and now they're trying to do it to Colorado, and it's like, I hope you guys know what you're doing. Because this idea that you're going to be able to control their populations once you reintroduce them, you're not even going to find them.
Right, correct. Yeah. And I mean, like we've seen a wolf pack, I'm blanking on the name of it now, but it's moved all the way down from Washington through Oregon. Now it's all the way to Central California, right? San Luis Obispo County, Central California.
Really?
I don't think they're resident, but they've dipped in because we have tracking collars on them, right?
Wow.
So they've come all the way from Washington, all the way through Oregon.
San Luis Obispo.
Isn't that wild?
Wow.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Incredible. And they are helpful to the environment. They do fill a role, and they outcompete the coyotes and, their population's insane.
They'll also kill your kids.
They'll also kill your kids.
Yeah.
They can.
I mean, they are fucking predators, and they don't have any rules. Like, we are so goofy and naive when it comes to the idea of predators. We think, like, well, we have an agreement, a spoken agreement with the people of the forest. Living beings of the forest, I am your friend. I used to live in Boulder, Colorado, and there's this lady I knew who was a yoga instructor.
That says a lot.
I told her, she was the best. I told her that I saw a mountain lion. She goes, well, when I go into the woods, I literally say a prayer, and I let the creatures of the woods know I know them, and I offer no harm. I am there only to just peacefully walk amongst them.
Yeah.
I am not a threat. Well, you shut the fuck up.
Yeah, go for a walk through the African bush for one night and see how well that does.
Like, what are you talking about, lady? You zig when you could have zagged, and you run into a bear and you're fucking dead.
100%.
Shut up. Just shut
100%.
up. They eat yoga instructors too. Like, this idea that you're gonna I send out a message of peace.
We've become so jaded in the sense of like nature is in harmony and balance. That's like this Western idea of like everything so harmonious in nature.
It's terrifying.
It's the opposite,
It's such a dumb perspective.
It
and
is.
It's so misinformed. It's just based on idealistic perspectives. It's based on, this idea of a utopia that exists in the woods. It's just not. It's tooth, fang, and claw.
Correct.
It's fucking chaos.
It's also based on disconnect, in my opinion.
Yes.
If you've spent time in the wild,
Yes.
if you've spent time, I don't care if you're fishing, hunting, hiking, camping, whatever, but like somewhere that is really raw, you're like, holy shit, no, it's not, all Shangri-La out here. Like,
No,
it is eat or be
not at
eaten.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.